I'm heading out to visit a bunch of remote Aboriginal communities this week, and every time I visit these communities, we uncover more and more cases where Telstra have ripped people off.
Financial counsellor Alan Gray is travelling east of Broome to the tiny community of Pandanus Park.
Hello, bro. How you going? I'm a money mob fella from Broome. How you going, Terence?
For years, when people here visited Telstra stores, sales staff sold them expensive phone plans they couldn't afford.
People are coming to see me in my office. They got a bill for $3,000, $5,000, $8,000 from Telstra. Every time I come here, people tell me they've got a sister or an auntie or an uncle who got ripped off by Telstra, and we haven't found them yet. People have gone into the Broome Telstra store to buy typically a $100 mobile phone, but a fast-talking sales staffer on high commissions but low wages has talked them into a multi-device plan.
In 2021, Telstra was prosecuted by the consumer watchdog over the mistreatment of more than 100 Indigenous customers.
They got severely into debt. They had bad credit listings which impacted their financial lives. They got chased by debt collectors.
Telstra paid a $50 million penalty after admitting to unconscionable conduct and agreed to refund customers with interest.
We no longer have direct individual sales targets for our people, and we've also done a significant amount of activity in the community as well around community visits. We have still got a lot more work that we are committed to working on.
But 730 has discovered the scale of Telstra's mis-selling is much greater than first identified. Financial counsellors have uncovered at least 550 new cases in the last 2 years, resulting in Telstra paying $6.7 million in remediation and compensation.
Telstra told the court that this mistreatment only happened to 108 people. Well, that's a fantasy, because our own micro agency has uncovered hundreds and hundreds of mistreated people.
Is that worrying that it still could be impacting people's financial lives so significantly?
Oh, absolutely. And so that's why we want to identify and remediate the accounts for these customers as quickly as possible.
After Telstra's prosecution, Nigina woman Pat Riley has come forward to claim she was mistreated. Pat's mobile phone was stolen in 2008, prompting Telstra to stop calls and texts, but data was still being used, resulting in bills for thousands of dollars.
It shocked me. I felt so depressed and stressed and worried about it because I didn't create these bills. And I kept ringing Telstra and telling them that to stop what's going on, why is my bill rising?
Telstra's debt collectors began threatening legal action. The single mum with 4 kids who lives in Pandanus Park worked multiple jobs to pay her debts.
Who's going to look after my kids behind if I end up going to court, going to jail for something that I didn't do?
In 2017, Pat Riley got into serious trouble with Telstra again when she signed up for a new mobile phone plan in Broome. This time, she says the salesperson told her she could have a second phone for free, a lie that would come to cost her $280 a month.
The payment that'll be on my back.
When she couldn't pay, a black mark was put on her credit rating.
It actually destroyed my whole financial side of things with getting a finance car or, getting a loan from the bank. My kids couldn't get what they needed.
Caitlin, how are you, mate?
And the debt collector started harassing me nearly every week.
Over years, Pat Riley has repaid Telstra around $30,000. Alan Gray made a complaint to the company. After negotiations, Telstra refunded her with interest and paid $10,000 in compensation, but they continue to fight for more.
It's not enough because the harassment, the fear, the mistreatment that's gone into ruining Pat's life, this was years and years of fearing that if they didn't pay up every fortnight, they might go to court or prison.
Michael, that's a really horrible case, and $10,000 is never going to be adequate to try and cover someone's pain and suffering. But as I said to you, we've got a framework that we use to try and be fair and equitable, but we'd be happy to work with him to review that case.
I'm on my way to see Mary Spinks, who was sold an expensive phone plan she says she couldn't afford. And this was after the unconscionable conduct for which Telstra was fined $50 million. In 2019, Mary got her phone in Perth on a $130 a month plan. Telstra's credit assessment said she'd been working full-time at Luma's local store for 15 years.
They are lying because I wasn't working at the shop. I didn't have a full-time income. I was on New Start payments.
Did the sales staff involved in Mary Spinks's case manipulate the credit assessment so she would pass?
We don't have evidence to suggest that occurred, but we're not saying that it didn't happen.
Out of fear, Mary, a Walmajari woman, kept up with her payments, at times leaving her unable to pay for food and fuel.
I had to pay it off because I don't want to go to debt collectors or to go to jail for it. Come on.
Telstra has offered to refund her $3,500, but it's refused to compensate her, denying any mis-selling or unconscionable conduct.
We believe that the latest offer that we did give Mary Spinks was fair and reasonable.
I don't believe that Telstra is following its own compensation principles when they're deciding on the compensation for particular cases.
Fiona Pettiford is based in East Arnhem Land in the Northern Territory and is calling out Telstra for playing hardball with some compensation claims, forcing her to go to the Ombudsman. In one case, a woman was eventually awarded $18,000 in compensation.
Telstra only offered the client $1,500. She'd walked into the store to get a recharge on a prepaid phone, and she talked about how she felt pressured, but the salesperson made her sit on a stool and wouldn't let her leave until she'd signed some papers.
These are really complex cases and every case is unique and different. We do absolutely take the customer's story on face value and we just do our best with all of that information and try and apply it consistently to reach an outcome that's really fair for the customer.
After further questions from 7:30, Telstra revealed it's paid remediation to more than 2,300 customers since the undertaking with the ACCC, but the company couldn't confirm if all of those cases involved mis-selling. That's led to calls for the consumer watchdog to launch a fresh investigation.
I really think it warrants investigation and potential further penalties.
Look at this evidence. If they agree with us, we believe that Telstra should be re-prosecuted.
Grassroots Aboriginal people, we're taking this on because they took advantage of us.